And even outside of that fourth place finish, as you brought up, the other two as well, the two previous years, Team Spain making top 8 in both of those other appearances as well. And of course, Team England, first year being separated from Scotland, Wales, and Ireland. So they're going to be just Team England this year rather than Team UK, who also has some pretty good history in these World Cups. But straight into
For
race number
sure.
1, Mount Wario.
And we've got a unique perspective here. We've got Reese on the inward. And now Reese lately, I mean, I follow him on Twitter. He is putting in the absolute grind and lounge and in online play. I mean, he's made strides to the top of his country.
He has most definitely. So shout outs to Reese. And thank you for giving us this POV as well. We do see Drac being taken up pretty early. So does Alfie, though. So a 1-for-1, pretty easy. And as if we know this track, it's pretty easy to keep front presence unless a shock comes in. Is this currently a 1-3-4 for Team England?
It might be. Is England hosting the room? Because I'm assuming preserved first there, as we see 3-4 coming out for Reese and Jasmine, and we have Velocity back there, Jobo trailing closely. So I mean, the numbers game up here in top spots, and yes, that is Xander in first, as he's going to be taking a red shell from Miguel Own, but not going to be connecting there. And I mean, if they can get Miguel out of second, this could be a massive pack run for England here. The situation on the shock, though, especially with the lap 3 glider here on Mount Wario, that could be detrimental if Spain's able to coordinate one here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we can see that Waluigi is quite far back in last, opting to go for it. And as you said, if there is a shock, this could be absolutely huge for Team Spain.
It looks,
if they can just
looks like there's a lot of dodges coming out too.
Drac is in his dodge now.
And it doesn't seem like anything's going to be coming through, no.
No.
But the blue, not quite going to get there as...
Oh, no!
And Miguel's taken out on the line! Is that
huge.
A top 4 for England?
Huge for Team England.
They were able to clutch that out at the very end in a top 4, 10, 11. Wow. That is exactly the start you want. Wow. And I mean, Xander just comfortably running that entire thing. It may have been the case that England was holding blue because that didn't come out until the very end there.
I think it's possible, that someone like Alfie, who finished in 11th, could have been holding that. But that's catastrophic for Team Spain. Miguel being taken out right on the line. That's such a huge point swing as well, because we don't exactly know what spot he was in, but he was definitely in the top 3. So what could have been like a 1, 3, 4, 5 just suddenly becomes a top 4 for Team England.
He was second. He was preserving that second pretty well, and I mean, he did as much as he can with, 4 England players surrounding him, but that is big. And I mean, this is a good track if you're Spain. If you want to coordinate a shock and kind of swing things around as you're in a 20-point deficit after 1, this is the track to do it. Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how the England runners are divided here, I guess, because it seems like one of them at least kept going. Xander slowed down, Reese slowed down. We've got a bagging battle here.
Reese actually even bananaing himself as well. Got to make sure you don't disconnect, especially on stream. Would be a little bit embarrassing to say the least.
That's one of the risks of bagging. I forgot about that completely.
Of course. Yeah, of course. And then even if someone does DC, then you've also got to factor in bot shocks as well. On these kind of tracks, it's a blue shell. But more importantly, a shock for Reese. Right, Team England have to use it. That
comes out almost immediately. Why do you think they have to use it so quick? I mean, and that's exactly why. And was that a Spain shock, or was that coordinated with the UK? With England?
I believe that was actually Xander who had that right in front of Reese. He was holding something sparkly, but that Spanish player in last, Luisao, can most certainly see this shock. And we do see a lot of Spanish members stopping at the first set.
Spain is completely aware by now that they have it.
Yeah, you've got to use this quick before Luisao or anyone else can pull it.
Well, right. And I mean, it's coming towards the end of lap 2 here. So, I mean, this is a perfect time to use it if they're able to, muster up the dodges. Looks like Xander has a star there. Pretty sure he'll be dodging, and plenty of English members dodging there. It looks like a couple people coming up on the top of the pack as the Donkey Kong gets blued. Is that Spain?
Yeah. That is Alfie from Team England.
Oh, okay. And I mean, Reese right here is in a really good position with this gold and able to take
Ooh.
this first turn cut, albeit a little messily. Likely to go for the chain here at double or at least at single. That's what's available to him. Not chaining. Interesting. Okay. He's got this thing held
Good.
then.
Not a terrible pull though. Triple shrooms and a star. Drac coming up in a bullet bill. Suo as well. I'm sure has a few shrooms to boot. Also going to be. I almost thought that first place got taken out there. Not quite. This blue shell is going to be pretty much useless, I think, going into this last corner of this race. Honestly, these spots are kind of up in the air right now. But if I were to guess, Team England.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
okay. I was suspecting that top two was two different teams because it looked like there was a little bit of tension going on there. It seems like first place got hit. I'm not quite sure if they lagged out of it, but
I
yeah,
think I
that's
lagged. Yeah.
you'll take first. You'll take first if you're Spain.
Yeah.
And I mean the spots following it I didn't quite catch, but
It was, I saw the 2-3-5-6 from England, so yeah, I will definitely give it to Spain. With Team England pulling those two shocks and using both of them, Team Spain getting
oh yeah,
1-4, they did really well
for sure.
to kind of soften the blow there. And whilst I do think that was a winning race for Team England, that was very, very minimal.
Right. And I mean, Spain's got to be happy with that. Probably kicking themselves that they weren't able to grab the shock there when they had the opportunity. But I mean, damage control is important, and we're only 2 races through, and Dolphin Shoal's coming out. Some drafting opportunities here.
Yeah, I just want to say commiserations to Alfie there, who was pretty much front running that entire race, and I think he got a bottom 2 spot. So
Oh my goodness.
yeah, sometimes it
Rest
is
in
just
peace
how
to
it
our
is
king.
on those tracks. Can be pretty hard to run for a reason, as we do see lots of English members. Wow, already a bottom 4 for Team England.
Yeah.
What happened here?
And
Bottom 5?
Oh, bottom 5. And that's not quite the
Oh,
way you want to start Dolphin Shoals. And I mean,
almost bottom 6. We do see Velocity in a mid spot as well. Currently sitting
yeah,
in
I
fourth now.
think.
That horn, and look, there he
Oh,
goes. This is that bomb. Wow.
top 5 for Spain, or top 4 for Spain, but Reese might able to say something about that as he has a Fire Flower following his shrooms. Got to watch out for that red. Can he do some damage here? He's got the right line of sight there. He takes out 2 of Spain. Damage done by Reese here.
Blue shell coming in as well for Angel. Angel's going to be hoping it has a horn, but that
Nice
banana
banana.
very well placed right on the Yoshi bike line. It's going to connect with Reese, and just like that, that's going to be another top 4
Well,
for
and
Team Spain.
while Reese is doing some damage right now, I'm really curious as to why all of England dropped there. I mean,
Yes.
Spain is all up here, and Reese can only hold on for so long, as we see a couple other English members pulling up here. Xander in about 5th.
No double box there from Reese. If you're Team England, you need a shock, because the start of this race... Oh, no.
Even a Bill would suffice if anyone's holding Bill. I mean, the pack is not that spread out, but I mean, you're going to have to catch up now. It's going to be hard in the last couple turns. I mean, the glider shortcut is a thing, but out comes a bullet Bill. 2 of them, it looks like.
Oh, no.
Or just 1.
That's a
oh, that is tough.
pretty, yeah, that's a pretty, pretty upsetting error, actually, as he just kind of like grossly fell down to the bottomless pit. But
right,
so, yeah,
such
Reese
a disheartening mistake. And I mean,
Reese has sealed his fate here. This is going to be a really good race for Team Spain. Good way for them to bounce back.
Yeah, and I am still confused as to the strategy at the start of lap 1 from England. I mean, they kind of put themselves at a disadvantage. I mean, getting 2-3 at least, but Spain's going to win that one by a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you there. I don't really know what happened for Team England. I know, I think Reese burnt out, if I'm remembering correctly. So he was kind of out of contention right at the start. But just after the first set, we just see England in just bottom 5 right off the bat. So it makes you wonder what on earth happened. Did they all get spammed out or something from Team Spain all around them? Because Team Spain did start in 1-4.
Right. And I mean, they might have caught the wrong end of the stick there, and maybe, unfortunately we're hit out of top spots. And if that's the case, great on Spain. And I mean, Reese did as much as he could, lap 1 and 2 there to take out as many Spanish members as possible. But the numbers advantage coming into their favor as the lead shrinks to 14, 130, 116. So this first Grand Prix we have here remaining pretty close, despite the big race from England to start.
Yeah, DK Jungle here is most certainly going to benefit Team Spain, not only just with their positions being 1, 4, 5, 6, but if Team England are on the, as you said, the short end of the stick when it comes to these bumps, and also the obvious fact that Reese cannot do this upcoming super bounce, this start could be really good for Spain, and if England can't catch up in time, that could be terrible.
I would be looking for Xander here possibly to break away a little bit. He was in second or third, and he had a pretty good angle on those first few turns, hopefully avoiding the bumps and preserving a top spot for England. I mean, we see Velocity up there in about fourth or fifth.
No, if
Xander
my eyes did
nowhere
not
to be seen.
If my eyes did not deceive me, I did see 2 Spanish members get taken out at the start, as we do see Velocity get taken out. Miguel trailing this red in 6th, not really too much Reese can do, except
Gotta
for
be careful, Reese.
Oh, that bomb though is
and
huge for Team
no
England.
worries to be had there. And it
No
might
worries.
be a top 2, James and Xander possibly, because I mean they are running up there.
I think so. I think that was a James bomb after that first set. A single shroom from 5th as Spike pulls triple shrooms ahead of him. Classic Mario Kart 8 item system right there.
Yeah, and I mean, if I'm England, I mean, despite blues and shocks, I'm in a pretty good position. I want Xander and James in my top 2 very strong runners, and we see a bit of a breakaway for first there.
Yeah, top 2,
blue
6,
is
7, 8.
out though, and so I mean, they're going to have to respond to this quickly. Maybe a banana dodge possibly, but it's looking like Spain's trying to make a move without a lightning bolt here though. They're pretty far back at the bottom spots.
They're stopping. Luis Sauer's trying to get it as Reese just fires himself on the tree. So Reese is going to be giving himself, I don't really want to say it like that, but he's going to be facing a 12th place, it looks like, unless he catches up. Blue Shell.
Another blue not going to be in time, probably.
It's not really
he's got his teammate in first. What's interesting, I looked back on the Twitch stream, and it looks like there was a banana dodge that came out. We saw first spin out before the blue shell came, so able to nullify the effects of that a little bit. And it looks like England will be at least in first, and probably a lot of the top spots. Spain didn't seem to have many members in the front there.
Is that a bottom 3 though for England? No, nearly
10-11, but
4, 6, 8. I think that was 1, 4, 6, 7. So. Yeah, maybe not quite as good as we were expecting, as we did see Xander and James
that is a very mixed pack for sure. I think England had the slight advantage there, but I mean,
again, very, very close. Only minimal the difference.
Yeah, and I mean,
now they're going to be opting for Cloud Top Cruise.
After that first race, things have kind of remained at a bit of a stalemate here. I mean, no huge races coming from either team. I feel like one is on the verge, though. We might be getting a big race from one of these teams. I'd expect it to be England, but Spain looks like they're scrapping right now. And, I mean, if that scrapping can turn in their favor, they can pull out a big race, then, I mean, this thing is right back to where we started. Only 14 points deficit for Spain.
Yeah, it's only been 4 races, but it looks like, apart from that obvious Dolphin Shoals race, it kind of looks like if Team England don't just somehow all die at the start, it does look like their running power has been a little bit stronger so far than Team Spain. Obviously, on a track like Twisted Mansion, that doesn't quite matter as much, which would most certainly favor Team Spain, as we see all the Spanish members up here after taking cuts. And Reese getting taken out.
Nice trail by Suo, too. That creates some separation in top 3.
Top 3. All of Team Spain, they are gone right now. And again, I'm going to reiterate myself, on a track like this, not quite as easy to front run, especially if a shock is pulled and is used over this glider. And that bomb as well, taking out Alfie right in his face.
I mean, Reese is going to have an opportunity to, close this gap here. He's going to be playing with the top spots, especially with these mushrooms for the cut. Fire coming up, not quite going to reach him, dodging every which way. The items on the ground, and I mean, Reese is just right up in the mix here. Luis Sau gets taken out. Draft is
shell.
going to have to dodge these greens. A blue is also coming out. And I mean, Reese has a chance here to do some damage to Spain. Greens in first. And these next few turns coming up at the end here are perfect for back spamming.
Yeah, if he wants to play
Depending on
aggressive, but so does Suo
Yeah.
with these triple bananas.
And I
as
mean,
he
good on
should.
him to not back spam there, especially because he got a coin in his back pocket. He would have
Mhm.
been defenseless. So, I mean, this is a really good item, honestly, to just hold for the rest of the lap. Depending on if a
Yeah.
shock or anything else comes out, people might be taking cut up here. So,
Yeah, I'm sure some
gotta
people will.
watch
We
out
do
if
see
you're
someone
Reese.
take a cut. Up comes Drac, 2-3 right now for Team Spain. These greens could do a lot of damage. We don't know the remaining spots for Team
Rose
England.
one back.
Alfie is in last. Louis Sau is there as well. So it's a 2-3-4 for
Oh,
Team
the blue
Spain.
shell is coming out as well.
This blue
Could we
shell.
see a cancel?
Oh,
Possibly. He's got the
no.
horn. Times it, gets the red. He's got no protection coming in the last couple turns. He's going to clench. He can't quite
Oh,
finish off the red coming out, and Spain coming in
no.
droves to end that race. And
Oh,
Squids, I felt it coming. And
he did.
Spain has just taken the lead in race 5.
Dude, what a roller coaster
I mean,
of
that
emotions.
is,
That horn as
I'm
well, not only was it perfectly timed, but like he managed to both destroy both the red shell and the blue that was going for him. And you could see
I'm
he was trying with all his might to wall dodge that red shell behind the line, but he just couldn't quite do it. The angle was
and
not there. And it just
especially
goes to
with a
show.
bike.
Yeah, especially with a bike, it just goes to show how easy it is and how detrimental some little micro plays can be in
Right,
this
for
game.
sure. And I mean, I imagine if I'm Spain going into the last glider, we did see, him use his horn on the red and the blue. We'd expect any Spanish member in 2-3-4 to get a red. They were getting into second and throwing that because Reese had no protection and honestly not really anything he could do there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Mario Circuit coming right out for the UK here. Hopefully an answer to be had quickly as Spain takes a 12-point lead.
Yeah, of course, 12 points is, I don't want to say it's nothing, because an advantage is always nice, but
Well,
there's still,
exactly.
there's still 7 races
After
of this
being
war.
down 14 to swing the score 26 points is pretty
Mhm.
big. And I mean,
Yeah.
this is not going to be the track Spain can easily replicate a race like that on unless things go in their fortune. It seems a couple of them are back here. He's trying to contest this bagging battle back here. Hopefully no shot coming out for Spain in his case.
No, we don't see one just yet. We do see a couple more. Oh, you see Jasmine chilling back in 11th. Louis Sau also in 12th. They were holding something golden, but I'm going to assume it was stars. Yeah, they both activate the stars in bottom 2. Star golden for Reese in 9th. That is Alfie chilling in
I like the position Reese is in right now. He's got
very,
a
very
star
good.
to boot here and a golden following that. That's going to be big on the next couple turns if he doesn't get shocked out of this.
Blue
A
shell,
blue
though.
coming out too for England.
That's going to be
And he's
a
got
blue
a...
shell with Alfie's name on it. No
Oh,
horn.
he is selling for this first right now. He is selling for this first right now, Squids. He is going Xander's in first. This is a top 2 for England. And good answer. Reese able to manage his items almost perfectly there in a shockless race. And that's how you play Mario Circuit. Not
Top
gonna lie.
2, 4, 5.
Wow.
Yes. Very
And,
good.
I mean, looks like that might swing the lead back to England. What'd you say? Top 2, 4?
Top 2, 4, 5. So I think it most definitely will.
Oh, for sure
Yes.
then. I mean, a great answer for England. I'd expect Xander to be up there in the top and Reese making big moves, especially after that devastating race beforehand on Twisted Mansion.
Mm-hmm.
And you were talking about the running power earlier, Squids. If Wario Stadium comes out for England, I feel like it's pretty likely that they could get a good race going here. I mean, how are bikes on Wario Stadium? I'm curious. We're not even going to get it, so we might answer that question later. But I was interested to see how Reese did in second on that track. But Yoshi Valley coming out here for Spain. Interesting pick. And what do you think the approach is here on Yoshi Valley?
I do know quite a lot of Team Spain members here are quite fond of this track, so in a way, it doesn't really surprise me. that we're opting to go here for race number 7. It's an interesting one because it's kind of a mix between the two in a way. You kind of, you can bag and you can catch up, but also at the same time, this is not the most difficult track to run, as both Reese and someone else from Team Spain, I think, getting possibly trailed by the same red there.
Right, and these last 2 sets here on Yoshi Valley, we know are going to be very important on lap 3, especially that second to last one if a shock does come out. Final set has 2 double boxes, really important for taking the shortcuts at the end. So, I mean, Reese looking to take that approach, the bagging approach here, maybe trying to pull out a lightning bolt or something to get him back up into the pack. But Louis Sao currently back there.
Is that a start or is that a shock? Louis Sao is not taking the cut in last, and we're seeing a lot of dodges right now for Team Spain. I think that's a shock in last for Louis Sao,
And yeah, I mean, it seems like a lot of dodges coming out. Reese able to predict this one too. Good on him. And a lap 2 shock, very interesting on Yoshi Valley. The double chain coming out for Reese.
It does give you it does give you enough time to catch up. Oh, that horn from track. Luckily for Reese, he was in a star, so that's going to tickle his hairs just a little bit. But the second shot comes in for Team Spain. That's going to be huge. As look at that Waluigi in first, like dodging all the way up there.
It looks like he used that into the shortcut, so that could either be Spain or the UK. It seemed like
I would guess.
Oh, interesting.
I would guess Team Spain. That would be too much or like too big of a mistake for.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That
Team
is
Spain
fair.
to just let Team England activate their star in such an obvious spot and just let them dodge a shock. But as we said, there's a lot of English players back here, and it's kind of not the easiest to catch up as well, because all the people ahead of you in bottom 3 are also pulling streams and are also going to be taking
everyone's
the same
in a dodge right now.
Alfie as well getting taken out as Miguel gets redded in the cut.
That is a tight finish.
Team Spain.
Is it? Oh, wow! Team Spain!
Kevin, what I said about Team Spain, they would not make that mistake of dodging Team England in second or third. And that is exactly what they did. Xander
and
getting first.
And you were talking about that home court advantage there. I mean, that is the track they wanted to go to in that situation, and they made it work. That's going to expand their lead just a bit now. And this match is going back and forth. I like this.
It really is. And it just makes you wonder if, just to go back on it again, I don't want to dwell on it too much, of course, but if Xander did not dodge in like second or third, then that could have quite easily been like a top 5 for Team Spain, which is absolutely huge.
Do we know for a fact that was Xander that dodged in second because the blue shell came out? I remember a blue shell coming out at the end, so that might have been a Spanish member getting blued back into like 4th or 5th. I don't think that was Xander dodging. We have no confirmation yet, but that was pretty big for whoever dodged up there.
Oh yeah, of course. And
I think I'm going to go with your idea that was a Spanish member, though, for sure.
Okay, yeah, I've just got the information, yes, from T. Thank you very much. It was a Team Spain member dodging up, but apparently, you called it, Kevin, a Team Spain member got blued on the line, which gifted Xander that first place.
Right,
so,
and I mean,
that's
if you're Xander...
Team England.
If you're thinking your lucky stars after that one that you were able to pull out first, because that could have been detrimental if it was a top 4 or 5. And we're seeing Electrodrome come out. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, Electrodrome is very, very good for your front 2 mid spots. If you are, well, in Team Spain's example here, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can get lots of drafts very easily on this huge straightaway, and that red is going to connect. Oh no, that's terrible. Not only did Reese get trailed by a Team Spain member, but Reese's red actually skipped and went for Xander. So 2 of Team England getting taken out, as Reese as well making a few driving errors here. Team England, just like Dolphin Shoals, there's a lot of them back here at the start of the race. Are we going to see a repeat of that?
I mean, it seems like a little bit of crumbling coming out here on the side of Team England. We see people back there in bottom spots. It looks like people are stopping at first set. So shock might be the focus here, especially if you're England coming off of a huge race for Spain. Like, you want an immediate answer with the way this match is going. You want to keep the pace of the match back and forth, because
Oh,
if you get a blue coming out too, is that Spain in first?
I believe
Should
that's a
be.
top 3 for Spain. Spain's actually going to be blued off in first, if there is a top 3 for them, which I am inclined
Right.
to think it is. Maybe even a top 4 now, because we did see
Reese a
halfway through
chance here
that
to close
2,
the gap.
James would get taken out. I think this is probably a top 4 for Spain. This plant, Reese cannot do anything. It's just his team all around him.
Right. He's got a chance to use it soon. Split paths here. Take the opposite path from your teammate. It looks like there's no shock in play, especially because last was so far back with a bullet. So, I mean, nothing quite coming here for
Oh,
England. Nice red dodge. Okay. But
playing
top
like it's
4 is so
MKWC.
far
Oh,
gone.
yeah. I
And I mean,
think this
just
is.
not going right for Reese here. England is all back here too. We might see a big race for Spain again.
I
At
think that
least a
might be
top
a
2 or a top
top.
3
I
there.
think it's a top 4. No,
Oh,
Zander.
okay. Still huge for Spain, but Xander able to pull up. And I mean, Xander not really controlling the front here like we'd expect him to, but he's able to pull out these big races. He's on 82 already. And I mean, so he's getting these top spots. We don't see him like dominating in first as of the past couple of races. It's just been so back and forth for England and Spain, but possibly a chance here for them to start leaning on Xander a bit, as he's really the front presence right now. Reese not able to catch any breaks in the front, but God, it's what is this, race 8 coming up here?
I think so. And as I said after Dolphin Shows, or I think it was Dolphin Shows, I said it. It really does. No, you know what it was? It was the start of Twisted Mansion. I said it just seems like if England are on the back foot very early on, it just looks like Spain just runs away with that race. Obviously, I
Well,
think
right,
both
for
those races,
sure.
Team England haven't pulled the shock. If they had pulled shock, it would be a different story, I'm sure. But whilst Team England, it does look like for the most part they have better running power. Team Spain, they're turning up and they're saying, you know what, we also have running power too, and they're definitely proving that.
Well, right, and if you're England, you kind of got to put, I'd say, Electrodrome and Dolphin Shoals behind you, because those were 2 races that kind of went wrong, and you're not really
Yeah.
sure what happened, at the start there. So, kind of got to pull out a mental reset if you're England, because it's not out of reach at all. As Reese trying to prove why PPS is a pretty good biking track, as he's staying up here with the top. A little bit of a mixed bag up here.
Yeah, no box for him though. It means he cannot take a box, but that boomerang, I think that was actually from Miguel rather than Alfie, and if that is the case, that's an unfortunate team kill there for Team Spain. It's going to be a 2-3 for Team England, a 1-4, as we do see Miguel still chilling in first and Suo in fourth. A red shell in third. What's going to be behind this red? A banana. Okay, so Reese does have the defense, but Alfie is going to need to try and chain reds here on Miguel, I think.
Right, and I mean, I think
Oh!
this is the perfect opportunity to do it, as Reese just bites the bullet again. Oh, and that shock coming out for, I think, the UK.
No, I think that's Team
Was that
Spain
the
because
UK?
Suo almost got target shocked, but not quite, whilst Alfie did, so I'm pretty sure it's a Team Spain shock, because
Oh,
I
they
think they're top
target
4 now.
shocked Alfie. That is huge. That is absolutely huge if you're Spain. And Reese is very vulnerable right here. He's surrounded by 4 Spanish members. There's a fire in second, too, it looks like. Angel's probably going to, get rid of that. He doesn't want to hit his teammates with it.
Oh,
He hits
but he
himself.
might
Oh,
hit
boy.
himself, though. Okay, this is the defense Reese needs. Now we've got to hope there's no boomerang or
Yeah. I
plant or
wouldn't worry
fall.
about first if I'm Reese right now. You got to take these guys out behind you. Get
Oh,
that double
no!
box. Not able to get a single box even. And this is catastrophic, possibly. A lot of dodges coming out.
Here comes the plants!
Plant coming out. He's dodging that. Oh, wow.
Oh, no!
Oh, no. Everything went, at least, I mean, as good as it could have until that last wall hit there. And I
Okay,
mean,
but let's talk about that. Was actually, I don't think we were expecting it. That was actually a pretty good race for Team England because that was
oh,
Jasmine
for sure.
in first, possibly dodging the shock, and we didn't notice in a ghost or something.
Yeah. You got a
So I
1,
did.
4, 6, 7, 8, 9 coming out. Yeah, bottom 3 for Spain. That's
Oh, was
pretty
it? Was
big.
that actually a bottom 3 for Spain? I did not
Yeah,
catch that.
Spike, Louis, Sal, and
Wow.
Suo finishing in bottom 3. So, I mean, like, you'll take that. And it seemed like England was, not backing down that race at all. So good on them to get a win out of that and shrink the lead just a bit. That'll probably be about an 8-point or a 10, or probably 10 to 12 if you've got the bottom three factored in.
And they got the first two. But can we talk about
exactly
that end,
10?
Yeah, how Reese did not Reese really did have his ballet shoes on at the end there, didn't he? Like he was dodging everything. Like that plant, really, really good maneuvering, not just from shifting left to right, but also like accelerating and de-accelerating too, pumping on your brakes, not get hit. Obviously, he did find himself in the wall and lose a few spots at the end anyway, but it could have been a lot worse, I think.
It's been really tough for Reese. He's had to play this whole match on his toes, and especially the second half of lap 3 there. He had so many Spanish members behind him, that that probably caused him to miss the items, and that was really tough, but he's able to bring out a great race for his team at least. Sunshine Airport coming out too.
Yeah, not too many races to go. Spain currently on the upper hand. They have the advantage. They have 20 points to work with here.
Yeah, and I mean, a big race from Spain here. I'd imagine they're trying to go for the death blow here, because I mean, if you get a big one like a 20 to 25 point race, then I mean, you're expecting England to cover up that much ground in the final GP, and that could close it. But we see a top 3 for England here. Exactly what they want. They want a big race to respond here, close this gap, and I mean, Jasmine. Oh, was that Spike taking him out? No, Spike had mushrooms.
With Suo, with those triple greens proving lethal to Jasmine, as Jasmine finds herself at the back of the pack with Alfie as well. I wonder how many of Team England are back there, because I see a 1-3 for England, but where else? As Xander gets taken out first, that is crucial for Team Spain, because right now for them it's a 1-3-4-5.
Yeah, Spike is doing absolute work. And again, we find Reese kind of wedged in between a lot of Spanish members here, asking him to make a big move to get these guys out of top spots. And I mean, you both have to play aggressive, but also defensive here, because if you try to take out first, you're going to get bombarded by 2, 3, 4. And the snipe coming through by Louis Sao. Wow!
The same spot as Jasmine met her maker, and this is now looking amazing for Team Spain. Triple shrooms in 6th for Reese is not a bad pull, but if you're Team England, you need that shot, because it's looking like a top 4 right now.
I think that's England, and last there, they stopped at first set, used a star. Nothing's seeming to come out. It doesn't look like England's holding dodges. Spain with a chance to take out Xander here on the glider. What a play by Louis Sao. Wow. And, I mean, Reese has got to be careful. He might be England's only hope.
And
no through, he has some mushrooms. Oh. And Spain might have possibly what looks like a huge blow here to England's chances, as they just dominate that race, running it top 3, 6, 7, 9.
Wow, that is huge if you're a Spanish fan for the
my goodness.
team.
And I mean, this for sure has to feel really good for Spain, especially. These two teams, didn't play in the play-in stages. So this is their first match. We just saw that with the Netherlands, first match of the group play, a big win, growing on a huge lead. And I mean, if Spain can hold on and win this, that race is going to be big just to grow the plus minus. It is not over yet at all, though. I mean, we have, 3 races to go, a 50...
No, I think we actually might only have 2. I think we only have 2
races.
Oh, is it 2? To go, which is even worse if you're Team England. And you know how I've been speaking about, for the most part, I've been saying how Team England, it looks like they have better front presence unless they just have a terrible lap 1 where everything just crumbles. It just seems like so many times, we've seen it time and time again, Reese is up there with all these Spanish players, but he doesn't have much support apart from maybe Xander every now and then. And so it just like, a 2v4 or a 2v5 up at the front. I think you can imagine who's going to win that one.
Right. And Squids, you were very correct on that one. There are only 2 races left. And so a 46-point deficit is going to need to be split into about 2 top 4s here for England. And I mean, on Cheeseland, you know what England's approach is going to be here. They're going to want a mass dodge that can set them up for a good last race. And I mean, I would like for the leader of England to hopefully plan something pretty big here if they can get the shot. Xander might be able to coordinate something with his team. We're not really going to know anything until laps 2 or 3 here, but seems that whoever wants to run is choosing to run right now. Reese holding a star and definitely banking on that shock to come out, but we'll see.
He's not using it. He's actually holding it past that shortcut. Xander stopping at set as well with a star. Angel's going to be in his Bilbo as the shot comes through. Angel is dodging in his bill. Now, what does Angel and Louis Sal, for that matter, have behind their bill? Because that could be absolutely huge.
Yeah, and I mean, was that a Spain shock? With triple reds coming out from Miguel here. Oh, yeah, nice play by Reese, using his star to try to take out those reds, able to preserve at least a couple spots here. Alfie right in front of him, but I mean, it seems like there's some front presence up here for England just a little bit, but on going into lap 3 of Cheeseland, that isn't the greatest usually.
Yeah, if you're Team Spain, you just gotta, you gotta cross your T's and dot your I's. You just gotta make sure you get any sort of winning race here, because if you do, then you just completely shut down all of England's possible attempts and dreams of winning this match, because this could come crucial. It is only top 2 teams of the group stages who make it to the top 8. And if England find themselves on the back foot here early on, this could be bad for them. And I'm being honest right now, Kevin, I don't know how this is looking for them.
I think, that's a 6, 7, 8 for England. This might have been the dagger from Spain. Okay, no, pardon me. That's not the dagger, but
it's close.
Makes it infinitely harder for England to win this final race. And I mean, things did not seem to go well for Reese there at the end, but keep talking. What's up?
I don't know. Is that the dagger? Because, yeah, that was a winning race for England, I think, but that was, again, very, very minimal. So if that was only like a +2 or a +4, then obviously it is over. We don't know, because, and we do see Team Spain opting to go for... Okay, so so you can see the scores have updated. It's 38 points right now in favor of Team Spain.
I mean,
so it is mathematically
you gotta get
possible,
a top 6 to win.
But as you said, only a top 6 will suffice here if you want to win. Obviously, a +38 is a draw. Anything less than a 38, sure, it could still be a good race. But if it's not enough to win, then what's the point?
Well, right, and I mean, we'll see what track comes out here. And I was going to elaborate on that if it was selected. I mean, a smart play from Spain to kind of throw out the chaos ball here. I mean, Baby Park is an oval. It's 7 laps of an oval. And so, I mean, really I feel like coordinating really big races, especially if you need a top 6, is going to be very difficult on Baby Park, almost impossible. But I mean, you can't count anything out in Mario Kart, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, most certainly the most chaotic track in this entire game. Kind of looked upon, kind of considered a meme, I think, in the competitive community, this track. Lots of people hate it, and to be honest, for good reason.
Well, right, and I mean, what's especially difficult for England here is the fact that Baby Park is a short track. It's about, 1 minute, 15 seconds on a good race. And I mean, that doesn't allow for, much time to get a shock and coordinate a shock, because if you get it after maybe 40 seconds, you've got 30 seconds to make something happen. And I mean, the pack already looking like a bit of a mess. We can't really tell who's in first until this blue shell connects. But hard to read the map, hard to coordinate much. This was a really smart pick for Spain, I think. And I mean, if they can get any of those top 6 spots, they've got it.
Yeah, all they need is just a single top 6 spot, and we do see Alfie once again in first. He's going to be hoping he doesn't get taken out front running these races. And these triple greens. This is chaotic going into the last lap.
And I mean, not able to connect with Spain. Yeah, Miguel's going to get 3rd or 4th.
Yeah.
Wow. And Spain with a big statement to start the group stages. And they're going to clinch onto that win by about 30, but still, that is a convincing win. These 2 veteran teams went at it, and Spain coming out on top. We're going to get that final score for you guys, but Squids, did you expect this?
I mean, it doesn't really surprise me in a way, because look, we know both of these teams before the cast, we were talking about how this is going to be such a hype match. Both teams are
Yeah,
so equal in skill level, such strong contenders for finishing super high up this year. As we just see Spain going over the lineups, they've proved they're a super strong team year after year after year, constantly making top 8,
oh
even
for
making top
sure.
4 2019. And Team UK, similarly, they have proved multiple times as well that they are such a force to be reckoned with, but it just went to Team Spain today. Team Spain played that super well, and Team England played well as well, but it just kind of feels like Team Spain just had them covered today.
Well, yeah, and we talked about the running power of England a lot, but we saw that come out. We saw the numbers game come out a lot for Spain at the, I mean, especially in the meat of the match, the middle. They got those 3 big races to kind of push their lead to 30, and they
Mhm.
didn't look back from there. And I mean, Spain, I'm really excited to see what they're able to pull through. I mean, England also a very good team. I Man, this was exciting. I'm kind of hyped. We haven't seen a lot of these really back and forth matches, a lot. But I think this is the time for it. This is the weekend for it, Squids.
Most definitely expect multiple other matches just as hype as this one coming up over the next few days. Team Spain off to a hot start after just their first match of the group stages. And just a reminder, again, it is only the top 2 teams of each group, with each group having 6 teams. So only the top 33% of these groups will make it to the top 8 bracket. So whilst Team England, they're not looking well, it could have most definitely been better for them, but they are far from out of it yet. It's just going to be a little bit more difficult for them
Well,
these over
I
these
mean, yeah, these are
next
teams
few
in Group
matches.
H, and I'm looking at the groups right now. We got England, Spain,
Chile.
CL. Remind me, is that Chile? Chile, Central America, and Brazil. So I mean, it seems like a pretty top-heavy group, which will be interesting to see how England and Spain's matches with Central America, especially because Central America dominated the play-in groups. That'll be interesting to look at to see how those teams
Mm,
fare. But I mean, so top 2 advancing, most fans are expecting England and Spain here,
I think
to
so, yeah.
advance. But I do want to see how these, future matches go in Group H, because especially with England's backs a little against the wall after not getting that big win there, it'll be interesting for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And the teams all of the teams this year who have made it to the top 20 right now are super strong. Honestly,
Yeah,
I'm tempted to say this is actually the strongest World Cup we have ever seen when it comes to Mario Kart 8. So I'm really looking forward to these future matches. But anyway, that's going to be it for me, at least. Kevin, you're going to be staying on for another match with Rookie, and that match is going to be
yeah.
Team France versus Team Mexico.
And I'm definitely excited to stay on this cast because I mean Mexico is a team that in the past, I think what year was it? Mexico made a pretty good run at least into the bracket, and
Mhm.
they made it to like the quarter semifinals and we're looking really good. I'll be curious to see if any of that momentum carries forward, especially because it's been a couple years. But France looking to be one of the top just absolute powerhouses in this World Cup. So we've got some pretty good Mario Kart coming up after this one, but I think that will be it for at least Spain and England and us.
Mhm. Indeed. So with that being said, we have again France versus Mexico coming up in just over 10 minutes. So if you're interested in watching that, then make sure to stick